Okay, 3, 2, 1. There you go, translators. We are live. We are live around the world. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our shenanigans here.
Hi, everyone.
It's like they left me up to hitting the live button, and I was like, "What's happening?" But there you go. We made it.
I'm having laughing crisis here. So how does it get any better? What better way?
I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the button. Why is it not working? I was being a man, It's like banging it with a hammer. It's like, have you tried turning it off and on again? That's how you get it to work. That's the law of the universe. Turn it off and on. And if not, hit it with a hammer. There you go. I'm a man being touched by magic. You're welcome. I love it.
This is the best start ever.
So it's like, ladies, I'm giving you the secret knowledge of what it is to be a man. Okay, turn it off, turn it on, hit it with a hammer. That's it. Okay, period.
Here you go. Hi, Brendon.
Hello, darling.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. The energy is like, woohoo! It seems like I just required to come on live with you to feel suddenly better.
Because how much of it's not yours?
Yeah.
Also, how much is it your awareness of what's changing in the world right now?
So much.
And so this topic of being touched by magic is, first of all, we've all got to start acknowledging we already are it. But that's not enough. You've got to be willing to, first of all, acknowledge that you are it, but secondly, choose from that space. And, I had a conversation with Gary recently. My life had just been kind of, it didn't seem to matter what was, what I was creating, or it was just like, it just wasn't enough. And, kind of feeling like I was hitting this kind of glass ceiling, and that was as far as I could go. And I was like, what is going on? And so I started asking, I was like, okay, consciousness, universe, can you give this to me in a way that I can actually get it? What is going on here? What have I got to change? What have I got to be aware of? What is this? And then I started asking, what awareness can I have that will give me total clarity and ease with this? And it was funny. I was laughing about this with Gary the other day because I was like, I woke up in the morning and this is all I could hear. Talk to Gary, talk to Gary, talk. I was like, okay, that's the conversation I need to have. But one of the things I realized in this conversation was that I've changed so much in the last few years, but change does not create the future. Change does not create your life, choice does. And I hadn't been choosing based on that change. I'd been expecting the change to create the choices.
Wow.
And I realized with that I think a lot of us do that. It's like magic is this place where it's like, okay, universe, show me the magic. And the universe is going, dude, you have all the tools, fucking choose it.
Yeah.
Choose the magic, live as the magic, be the magic that you are. Don't wait for the universe to give it to you. The universe will give to you as you choose, but it cannot give unless you have chosen.
Wow. And then the willingness to receive it.
Yeah.
Well, it's already there, but are you letting it in?
Yeah, truly. Yeah. Are you letting it in? Are you willing to actually receive it? And it's even with receiving, we live in a transactional world where receiving has been like, well, what do I have to do in order to get, and what do I have to get in order to prove, and rather than what can I be that would allow me to receive all of this.
You know what pops up for me, like so many years playing with the tools, going through all the classes, hosting, like being fully turned on and in. Because what you were talking about at the beginning, I had that too.
Hitting things with hammers.
Oh
yeah, that was profound.
Yeah, I'm playing, I'm creating, but it's not enough. There's something is missing. I
Hit
totally
me
get.
with a hammer. Come and get me.
Yeah. And then, and I know I heard it so often from you and from Simon, Gary Dane, of course, so much the willingness to be as different as you truly be,
Yeah.
and you still try, even if you have changed so much, to fit in a box or play the same way or la 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 la. And it was continuously going on and asking questions, but then the willingness to receive the awareness like yours, call Gary, you
Yeah.
know like I'm asking questions, but nothing is changing.
Yeah.
And then the moment when the doors open and you're like, okay, come on. And then magic shows up. And that was the moment for me recently where I was like, okay, wow. And everything again became so bubbly and joyous and creating and and I was like, I missed that. Actually, I missed me because that is so much me. I missed me. And this is the magic. And then just like the next and the next and the next. And the universe is like, yeah, you're on track. Here's the flow. Here, you get it. Have it.
Yeah. But see, the other thing with that is too, when it's not that, when it's not you, when it's not that bubbly, creativity and that wonderful joy that you are, that's still valuable because that's what adds to it becoming greater in the next moment when you are it. And that's where we do this thing of like expecting and having a projection and expectation that consciousness should be a straight line, and consciousness isn't. It's a fucking it is every single direction you can imagine all going on at once, because everything's included in it. So with the moments that feel like shit, the moments where you don't seem to have choice, the moments where you don't have that liking of yourself or that sense of possibilities that you would like to have, what if that could even be an acknowledgement of, okay, there's more magic coming.
Yeah.
This is part of what's required to get me there. So what is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how do I change it?
What I also do perceive, what I perceived a
One
lot.
moment. You keep talking.
Yeah. What I perceived lately a lot is like that we're having the tools, everything is going on, but the inclusion of the body. How often do we really forget to include the body while the body is, having the pleasure, having the joy, having the touch, having the kisses, having the food, having the house, everything that we're living here on this planet is body through our bodies. And when we talk about, I have no clue if Brendon even heard what I'm saying
Yeah,
right
I
now,
did.
but
I
it's
did.
bodies, the inclusion of the bodies again. And when we have that title being touched by magic, do you allow, your body to be touched by magic?
Yeah, and beautiful. I'm at Elugar at the moment, and sorry, I
Ah,
was
ah, ah.
the cleaners were here to clean my room, and I was like trying to remember my Spanish, to come back later. But anyway, and it's like talk about being touched by magic, being here. It's such an invitation to that. It's such a space of this is you.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other
I I have a question actually that I would like to ask you for a very long time because we're talking about 3-day body classes here as well. And you're a 3-day body class facilitator and you're having such a joy with it and such a contribution to the bodies. I have never asked you what made you choose like becoming a 3-day body class? Like was it waking up and saying, "Hey, today I choose to become a 3-day body class facilitator"? What was that that made you choose it?
uh good question. At the time, so that was about must have been about 4 or 5 years ago. And see, because I'm an interesting creature, like all of you listening to this, is I am the last person in the world to acknowledge anything that I'm actually good at, because it's like something that comes to you with ease will be the last thing that you'll acknowledge as a capacity.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just like, I always had a different space with my body. I always was just like, I never understood judgment, and I never understood how people had types, or I'm attracted to this person, I'm not attracted to this person. Things didn't make sense to me. And so I always knew that I was different with that. And I always had a place where my body, it was just this vehicle for exploration in our world. So I guess in the beginning, it was just like, okay, I wonder, this kind of could be fun. And I remember at the first 3-day body class, actually, that I facilitated in Mexico. And I think there was like 70 people in the room. And everyone, I talked for 3 days, and I remember talking to Gary after it, and he's like, you need to learn how to shut up. But people were asking me questions and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And he's like, yeah. And how much were you trying to give them the answer?
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, good point. So I learned from that. I was like, okay, I started asking my body what it knew about facilitating these classes. And now my body does most of the work in those classes, facilitating it. And it's such an interesting thing. Like I've had so many that they get more miraculous each and every class. And this last class, I just did a 3-day body class here at El Lugar, and oh my God, it was just so beautiful to watch these people come into this class as one thing, and 3 days later enthused about not only having a body, but enthused about living with it and creating it, and having it be something that was a gift in their life and not a burden. And day 3, we started class early and we finished class early, and I took everybody on a horse ride to the river here at El Lugar. And it's like, and 5 of the people had never been on horseback before. And I was like, don't worry, we'll take care of you. It's all good. And they just, they melted in a way that was just, it was so beautiful. It was just, that's what living can be from my point of view, is where each and every one of us has our unique gifts and talents. And what somebody else may have that you don't does not make you less than that person. It makes you different from that person. And we've got to stop looking at our world as this place where we are individuals. We've got to start looking at our world as a place where we are together. What can we create together, and how can we support each other in that? Because it's otherwise, what's the point?
This has been like forgotten for so long. I mean, when you travel, even like giving someone the hand, handshaking, hi, even that became weird. That was so normal. I like shaking hands because it's the first contact, the body's touch. And there's the first touch, that. And after COVID, like people are like, shall I give my hand? Shall I not give my hand? Can I touch you? Can I not touch you? The separation became so much bigger now.
Yeah. Well, and that's the part where we have to recognize that it only became bigger if you believe it became bigger. And it's like, and so my question for everyone is what's true for you? What's true for you, not what have you been told is true. There's a big difference. And I remember as when I was growing up, I loved camping. You know, just being outdoors. And one of the places I loved going camping was this place called Double Island. You know, you would go in your car across this little ferry, and you would drive, and it was just like 100 kilometers of just open beach that you could camp on, right? And so I loved it, and we would, you know, cross this ferry. As soon as we crossed the ferry and got onto this beach, everybody changed. You would drive past somebody, they would wave. You would have something you needed, people would give it to you. Everybody said hello, and everybody talked and supported each other. And I was like, what is happening? People were, from their point of view, this was a place that they could actually be received, you know. And it was like, why are we not like this in our world? Because you would be seen as crazy if you walked around saying hello to everybody. What if you are crazy? What if being crazy is what it takes to be you?
This is also what I like lately a lot, and always actually in 3-day body classes. I always bring it back to the 3-day body
Yeah.
classes because this is the place where so many people come in after bars who are like, oh my God, I can just lay down and someone touches me with kindness and caring and just contributes to me, and I can just receive. I don't have to do anything
Yeah.
and let it in. The magic in that, the kindness, the caring, the nurturing is just beyond words for me. And then, as you said, people come in and 3 days later, you don't know who they are. And you're like, have you been here from the beginning?
Yep.
The body suddenly starts glowing again because, yeah, it can just
Well,
be.
yeah, and it's interesting. Like, you saying that made me realize too, is every change that I've actually had in my life has made absolutely no sense.
Mhm.
Every single one of them. You know, and when I've controlled it into changing something, it hasn't actually changed. I've just controlled it differently.
Yeah.
You know, but anything that's changed has made no sense, because magic makes no sense.
Mm-mm.
You
So,
know,
what is that thing with us and controlling, and especially controlling our bodies? Our bodies know so much. Every little molecule in our bodies has consciousness
yeah.
and actually could lead us through life to a pleasurable, phenomenal life. And we're like, no, I know better.
No, I don't want to. I need to control you and judge you and, be stupid. But we're
As a
so
big
sick.
control freak, I can say that. So, here we go.
Oh, I can too. You ain't alone, and I don't know anyone who isn't.
Yeah,
So
I
it's like, but one of the conversations that we've been having in Access recently is this thing about platforms.
Mhm.
And basically you could look at this as you could look at this as everything that you have defined yourself as, so that you know who, what, where, when, why, and how you are. You have a platform from which to choose everything. So everything comes from this, structure that you have created as your reality, and blah, 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 whatever. Okay. But it's like, but control being a big part of it is we've been taught that, you didn't come in with going, oh my God, I need to control everything to get what I want. You came in with, oh my goodness, I can ask for it and receive it.
Yeah.
I said I was on this Zoom before. I was on this Zoom talking with Russian people before this live, and Uliana was on there. Uliana is a good friend of ours, and she has a little wizard, a little boy. His name is Sebastian.
Love him.
And she was telling this story about how last night he was like, Mummy, I want ice cream. And she's like, well, we don't have ice cream. And he said, yes, we do. And she said, no, we don't have any ice cream. Yes, we do. So he took her to the freezer. And I love the way that she said this, because she was like, and he lifted up the bottle of vodka, You know, right?
Of course, there's vodka.
Of course, there's vodka. Hello. Um, and then he lifted up the baby bear. No, I'm kidding about that part. But he lifted up the vodka, and there it was, ice cream. And she was like, I did not buy that ice cream. Yeah, that's called you're living with a wizard.
Wow. I have, just because I think it's so phenomenal about Sebastian, and we all have that capacity, but how
Yeah.
much are we hiding is when I last time met him, I just spoke Turkish with him. I mean, he understands English, yes, Russian, yes, but I just started, I had the sense of just talk Turkish with him.
Uh-huh.
He responded. He exactly knew what I was talking about. And at the end of 3 days, he started even responding in Turkish with words. And I was like, what is happening? And everywhere where we all have that capacity, because we all have it, I could really sense how he went into my head. He's like, and then took it out there. I'm like, I'll have that again. That's magical. You
Yeah.
know, you can travel the world and you're just like, okay, yeah, okay.
Yep. And that's what, but see, that began with your willingness to have the awareness that he could receive it.
Yeah.
So if he can receive it, you can receive it too. You know, and that's a beautiful example of that. It's like you opened the door for him to know he is magic.
Wow. That gives me goosebumps right now, up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like and
And he
you
reminded me of a forgotten capacity that I have too. You
yeah,
know, it was a contribution, both sides. Yeah.
yeah. And that he reminded you that's a beautiful gift.
Hmm.
So so Fatma and I have actually been planning this 3-day body class in Munich that now it's changing. We have no idea to what yet. But there are 3-day body classes on all around the world also. 3-day body classes, advanced body classes, 1-day body process classes, single body process classes. There are body process trades that you can do. The access body processes are something else. And, you know, with the 3-day class, I think there's about 67 or 69 processes in that manual now, all of which are different and, you know, designed to create specific change in different things. But it's like, what gift is your body asking for? And what if you could allow it to begin to lead also? What if you didn't have to be in control of it, but could receive from it?
And you might think, if you have never gone to a 1-day body or, body process class or a 3-day body class, you think, oh, it's about the bodies. But actually, it is not just about the body suddenly. And we have experienced it all: money flows, business, relationships, like even your relationship with your parents, like weird things you cannot define it because it's undefinable,
Yeah.
started changing when you started gifting to your body and taking care of your body with this amazing body processes. I don't, every time I have to stop myself and I go into defining it, or what body process would be the best one right now, I'm like, my body's like, what are you doing again? What
Yeah.
are you
What are
doing?
you doing again?
What are
Yeah.
you doing again?
Not
Just
laughing.
exactly. Tush, tush, tush. So open the manual, go through it, choose. I will lead you here, choose that. And then you're like, that will help for that. And, again, computation, you're like, what
Yeah.
if we just let all of that go and allow magic to show up in this class? As one of my
Yeah.
favorite classes is a 3-day body class. You just go, you receive, you gift, and be.
Yeah. True story. And well said.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm actually, yeah, but also that with the change of the Munich class, not holding on to things, because that can also be a gift right now for everyone listening. We're holding on to, I have made that choice and now we're going through that. And yeah, and pushing it through. But what about if we really listen to the whispers and we're like, wait, there's something else right now. Something has changed.
Yeah.
And I like how you said it, like throwing everything up in the air and then asking questions and not making it significant, relevant, right or wrong, because this is what we do very often, and just say, oh, no, it's changing. Let's see where that leads now.
Yeah.
Just
Well, I loved if have you seen the movie Deadpool 2?
I have seen them, yeah, but what about? Because
No.
I very
Well,
quickly forget.
well, in that movie, there's one of the superheroes has the superpower of luck, and they're all
Yeah.
saying luck's not a superpower, and she's like, yeah, it is. No, luck is not a superpower. It is. And it's so great because she's just like everything works for her, and that is a good example of how it can be if you trust consciousness.
Yeah.
You trust yourself and recognize that if you allow the universe to lead, then things don't have to look a certain way. You can recognize that, okay, so everything that's chosen comes with awareness if you're willing to have the awareness. So it's like the world can begin to become a place of possibilities, not a place of problems.
You mean a world of magic?
A world of being like almost like being touched by magic.
And you be the magic?
And you be the man? No. Stop it, Fatma. Stop.
Too weird, too different.
You naughty girl. Stop that naughty talk.
I wonder what's going to show up now. And I
I
mean,
do
you have
too.
classes up there. People, just look. Brendon is amazing. I love him. I adore him. And what else? I cannot wait to see and hug you very soon again.
Me too.
So check out his list, what's happening, and then we keep you updated what's happening with Europe classes and what else is possible. And thank you, Brendon.
What else is possible? Thank you. Thank you all. Bye, guys.
Mwah!
Mwah.